Greetings, Sir Magdon Junel. If you don't know, I am Andre Espiritu from 11 Quezon. Currently, I am here delivering my persuasive speech. Before I get started, I want all of you to focus. Freedom of speech is a principle that supports the freedom of an individual or a community to articulate their opinions and ideas without fear of retaliation, censorship, or legal sanction. Think of this, and I quote, "We have freedom of speech, but you've got to watch what you say." This is a famous quotation by Viola Sapulin. There should be limitations to freedom of speech because the main problem is that certain people overuse freedom of speech to make different claims that are objectionable to some. The reason why freedom of speech should be limited is that there is a lot of toxicity happening in our society. I have experienced and witnessed the issue of freedom of speech, which is saying offensive words to people and the government. Confining freedom of speech because words are indeed very powerful. They can be very violent. We always hear and claim that various things like weapons and other utilizations may break our bones or other physical parts of the body. However, words are a different topic because words can break a person's emotions and psychology, which can lead to unpleasant outcomes. I do believe that we all deserve freedom of speech because it supports the basis of human rights. Yet, it is very essential to limit what we say because sometimes our words can be terrorist or against the government. However, based on my analysis, any restrictions of freedom of expression must be provided by law, protect certain public interests or the rights of others, and be necessary for that purpose because too many restrictions can result in federalism and violations of human rights. If the freedom of speech is limited, I believe most people will think twice about expressing their negative or offensive claims during or in different contexts. For example, our government announced another lockdown in the country because the number of active cases is significantly rising. Many people will think differently about this and express unfavorable claims even they know it is for the sake of everyone. Sometimes people go far and post their disagreement on social media about the government's implementation. I am not saying this because I want people to just shut up. This is just an example, and I want people to know why the government implements such things before they use freedom of speech. And I quote, "Before you speak about your disagreement without knowing various backgrounds, you better think twice." Besides the government, freedom of speech can pertain to numerous things like talking about various people, like authorities, celebrities, etc. To indicate that freedom of speech must be limited, many people have been accused and arrested in the Philippines because of their inappropriate behavior. One of the certain instances of this is President Rodrigo Duterte's war on attrition, against the independent reporting of Rappler, and against all media and activists who dare criticize him. To clarify, whoever dares to go against Duterte's beliefs will be punished. Another example is that a lot of toxic people post on different platforms about others' insecurities just to embarrass them. Because of these incidents, there are cases of suicidal acts, mainly caused by depression and anxiety because of the main aspect. That is why for me, sometimes human rights can be unfavorable if exploited. For wit, we now acknowledge some information about cons of freedom of speech. It can be correlated in different circumstances, especially in politics. Honesty, peace, and respect are the foundations of free speech. Everyone, I believe, has the right to their own opinion. This is the section where we allow for that freedom of expression. Sometimes, however, a line must be drawn The idea of something as horrific as the genocide in which millions of people died, for example, is unacceptable. It threatens the lives and safety of millions of more people. Unfortunately, pure freedom of speech cannot be allowed in an outlet intended to inform. There must be speech boundaries, just as there be social boundaries, such as personal bubbles and customs for greeting strangers. Now we all recognize why freedom of speech should be limited, because it diminishes the toxicity and terrorism in our society. All I want is a peaceful pace in our lives, wherein everyone has the right to speak without saying anything too offensive or too unpleasant. Our idealism will always find a way to achieve a better society, but that's a different speech for another time. Thank you for your consideration.